So this is going to be a different kind of video than all my other ones, but this is kind of a topic that I do want to bring up before it's too late. First off, I did gain over 200 subscribers, and I got the community tab up and running, which, hey, that's pretty good for a person that only has almost 200 subs. And by the way, I do have other videos, and if you're confused on Shareverse, I do have my introduction video. You could definitely look at that. Okay, but now for real, let's talk about the main topic that I want to bring up for this particular video. That being, I have no faith in Disenchanted. When I first heard that they were going to make a sequel to Enchanted back last year on Disney Plus Day, I thought, holy shit, this is a great idea. It's an awesome opportunity to not only look back at these characters, but also make fun of the newer Disney movies. Because, as I mentioned in my last video, the Disney Princess Genocide, one of the reasons why I consider Enchanted to be such an unusual film is that this was a movie that was intentionally making fun of the company. Disney was literally making a movie to make fun of themselves. We have to ask this question: was Disney trying to be meta in the early 2000s? Because a lot of their products were really trying to go for that direction. You had House of Mouse, which had a bunch of Disney characters hang out and watch Mickey Mouse cartoons. You had a failed movie idea where the Great Mouse Detective would recruit a bunch of other Disney characters to go and find Mickey on his birthday party. You also had the original Lilo and Stitch trailers where Stitch ruins a bunch of Disney Renaissance movies. You also had Emperor's New Groove, where Cusco repeatedly broke the fourth wall over and over again. So the opening to Chicken Little, where they closed the book and not do the classic fairy tale opening. Timon and Pumbaa did a Mystery Science Theater commentary on the movie that they were in Lion King 1.5. And probably the most biggest example being Kingdom Hearts, where Sora is going around interacting with a bunch of Disney characters. So it is a very interesting topic to consider if Enchanted was the first Disney movie that was being extremely meta and not being afraid to show it off, or was Enchanted the final form of all these other meta commentaries that Disney was doing in the past decade that I just brought up. And when I first heard the news that they were going to make a sequel to this movie last year, I thought that this was a great idea because it could go one of two routes. The first being, the original movie made fun of the classic Disney movies. Now with the sequel, make fun of the modern Disney movies. Make fun of how meta they are. Make fun of how all the villains have to be sympathetic and dramatic. Make fun of the fact that everything has to be a live-action remake. Or satirizing the direct-to-DVD sequels that flooded the Disney market through the 2000s. When I saw with the trailer, I was not impressed. And if any Disney movie is going to make fun of the company, it's probably going to be Enchanted. The reason why Ralph Breaks the Internet did not work, even though it was kind of a terrible movie, was because the whole meta commentary on the Disney princesses, it really didn't work well with the comedy for that series. But since Enchanted was made as a satirization of the original Disney films, it could definitely work. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to go that route. Another aspect that I also realized is that the main director of the movie is not going to return for the sequel. Now, I know that directors normally don't create or produce the actual movie. That's usually the writers' or producers' jobs. But the directors are always the ones that have the clear vision of what the movie is going to be and how it's going to play out. I actually don't know if we are going to get these same writers and producers from the original movie, but if the director is not going to return, then I highly doubt the original producers and writers are going to return for the sequel. I just don't think it's possible. And lastly, I do want to bring up one more thing that I've been seeing a lot recently with a lot of movies that come out today. Now, this channel is not a main movie channel where I criticize a bunch of movies that come out today because of woke politics or diverse aspects. Trust me, I got a video coming on that in the coming months. So I don't want to lecture you all about how movies are bad. I'm not like other YouTube channels that critically analyze movies, and from what I've heard, one of them drinks. I'm guessing Hollywood noticed how many people are starting to hate on these reboot movies and sequels that came out from the 2010s to even now. What I've been seeing personally is that Hollywood is trying to make these movies that I like to call checkup sequels. These are basically sequels to movies that are 10 to 30 years old, and they don't have any sequels, and pretty much these movies are made to check in on these characters after the events of the first movie, after all these years. And I'm afraid that Disenchanted would probably be the same thing. They're cashing in on the nostalgia of the original movie, but not realizing why that movie worked so well. Even though we pretty much have all of the original cast members here, there's nothing going on. There's no big, huge plot importance, there's no big plot changes. It's honestly a pointless, unnecessary cash grab, and I don't think this formula of checkup movies are working. And I've been seeing this trend lately. We saw it with Coming to America in 2021. Last month, we literally had Hocus Pocus 2. Now this month we're getting Disenchanted, and I could not believe it when I saw this. Earlier this week, I picked up my brother, and on the way back home, I noticed one of the bus stops had a poster for the Santa Clauses. Yes, the Santa Clauses. They're making a 4th Santa Claus movie. Did anybody ask for this? The 3rd movie was so bad that it killed the franchise, and now they're gonna make a checkup movie on it? What I usually like to do with these checkup movies is to determine, okay, who really needs a paycheck for this? I'm assuming Coming to America was made because Arsenio Hall wanted a paycheck. I'm assuming Hocus Pocus 2 was made because Bette Midler wanted a paycheck. I'm assuming Disenchanted was made because Amy Adams wanted a paycheck. And now we have the Santa Clauses, which I'm pretty sure Tim Allen wants another Disney paycheck, because by God, he doesn't have a lot already. So I don't want to make any general assumptions or criticize a movie that isn't out yet. Again, this movie's coming out later this month, and I don't want to make general assumptions of it. I'm only going through what I have with the movie trailer and what I have heard through news articles and such. However, I will be watching the movie regardless. I want to give this movie a fair shot, and I want to see how it does play out. Maybe it would surprise me that they actually do the meta commentary from the first movie. Who knows? I will have to definitely check in on that, and maybe I'll make another video to see if my hypothesis was correct or incorrect. But honestly, I have no faith in this movie. And you know that Disney's immediately shoving this movie to Disney Plus, because from what I've seen, these Disney Plus movies, including Hocus Pocus 2, they're made pretty much on the fly. They're extremely cheap to make. But we'll have to see when the movie comes out, and I will definitely give it the benefit of the doubt. Okay, well actually, I won't give the benefit of the doubt. But I will give this movie the benefit of the doubt that it's trying to do something new. It's trying to be a meta. It still tries to capture the charm of the original Enchanted movie, but unfortunately, from what I've seen, I don't think that's possible. But again, we'll have to see. And until then, I'm AJ, and I'll see you all in the next one.